Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something central to, well, living what's often called the soul-based life,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you've already engaged with the steps to authenticity.
Mm.
It's kind of the next layer, maybe.
Exactly. We're focusing on a chapter or section called The Gift of Wisdom. It's laid out across the 12 months, each with its own theme.
12 months, 12 themes,
Yeah,
like 12 different lenses.
that's a good way to put it. Each month offers a particular strand of wisdom to explore.
Okay, so what's the twist here? Because there usually is one.
Well, the really unique part is this idea of direct communication from your soul or God or your deeper self, however you frame it, directly to your brain.
Through affirmations.
Yes, daily affirmations tied to these monthly themes. The purpose is to shift you from just knowing about your soul
Right, like an abstract concept.
to actually knowing you are one, experiencing that identity shift.
Okay, that's a subtle but pretty fundamental difference, isn't it?
Huge difference. Thinking you have a soul keeps it separate. Realizing you are the soul that changes everything about how you navigate life.
And for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on June. And the wisdom for June is peace.
That's right. Peace seems particularly relevant, doesn't it?
I'd say so, given, well, everything.
Absolutely. And in this context, peace isn't just, the absence of war. It's presented as the soul's natural state, the opposite of conflict.
And conflict, especially extreme conflict like war, is seen as coming from
From the ego.
Yeah.
Driven by the ego's perspective.
Okay, so this gift of peace for June, how does it actually manifest? What does it look like day to day?
Well, the source material suggests it starts inside. It's the soul's own inherent serenity.
Internal calmness.
Exactly. And that internal quality then becomes an external one when the soul is, let's say, in the driver's seat, guiding the body, guiding actions.
Making you less capable of ego-driven stuff like violence or aggression.
Precisely. When you're aligned with soul wisdom, those impulses just don't have the same pull.
That makes sense. It's like having an inner compass that just constantly points away from conflict. The text also draws a contrast, doesn't it, between soul-driven and ego-driven characters.
It does, and it's interesting how it plays out. Someone who's really soul-led might just naturally steer clear of potentially confrontational situations entirely.
They just don't go there.
Right, whereas someone more ego-influenced, they might feel that initial spark, that urge to fight or argue.
Yeah, that flash of anger or defensiveness.
Exactly. But then maybe with growing awareness, they consciously choose to walk away, to take a different path. The impulse might still flicker, but the choice changes.
Okay, so the soul's perspective on conflict is radically different. It doesn't even feel the need for defense. Why is that?
It goes pretty deep. The idea is the soul operates from love. Well, love doesn't really need defending like, say, property or an opinion does.
Because it's not fragile in the same way?
Kind of. The need to defend, that arises from the ego, from feeling like a separate, limited self that has to protect its stuff, physical stuff, beliefs, identity.
Right, we get so protective of our little patch of ground, literal or metaphorical.
Mm-hmm. And the text really emphasizes that this inner serenity and the resulting outer peace, they're not just nice ideas, they have real value.
Tangible benefits.
Yes, contributing to a longer, more fulfilling life. They're described as, priceless assets.
Okay, so how do we actually engage with this gift of wisdom? How do we get this peace?
The guidance is pretty straightforward. You just start with today's date within the current month section. So for June, you'd start on June 1st, then 2nd, and so on.
And focus on the affirmation for that day.
Exactly. Contemplate it. The idea is that this practice helps quiet the mind, that constant ego chatter, and helps shift your mind's allegiance, you could say, away from the ego and towards the soul's perspective.
Okay, so looking ahead to June, let's maybe walk through some of these affirmations. June 1st is, there's nothing here worth fighting over. Wow, that's direct.
It is. It really challenges our immediate gut reactions, doesn't it?
Totally. Think about daily life.
Yeah.
How often do we get worked up about things that really don't matter in the long run?
All the time. That argument about parking, the little annoyance at work, is it truly worth the energy, the conflict? This affirmation asks you to step back.
Yeah, to evaluate the real stakes. Okay, June 2nd.
Yeah.
The only thing of real value cannot be taken from you.
Yeah.
What do you think that refers to, this intangible value?
Well, connecting it back to the soul.
Right.
It points towards those inner things, right? Love, peace itself, joy, wisdom, that connection to something bigger.
Things no one can steal or break.
Exactly. They're part of who you are at that soul level, not just things you have. Remember that distinction.
Yeah.
Owning versus being.
Right, okay. June 3rd offers reassurance. Nothing can happen to your soul. That feels anchoring,
Mm-hmm.
especially when things feel shaky.
It really does. It shifts the focus from our temporary physical experience, which is vulnerable, to the enduring nature of the soul. It suggests an underlying stability that's always there.
And building on that, June 4th, your soul will protect its canister, your body, if it needs protection. So there's a kind of built-in safety.
That's the implication, an inherent intelligence, a deeper wisdom that guides and preserves, maybe not always in ways the ego understands or expects, but it's there, trusting that inner mechanism.
Which leads nicely into June 5th. Listening to your soul will keep you safe. But how do we hear that voice? With all the noise.
Ah, that's the practice, isn't it? Creating quiet, mindfulness, meditation, nature walks, even just pausing, taking a breath during the day.
Making space for the whispers.
Yeah. To notice those subtle nudges, the intuition, that gut feeling that comes from a deeper place than just frantic thinking, these affirmations can actually help train that listening skill too.
Makes sense. Okay, June 6th. The soul promotes peace during even the most difficult of circumstances. That sounds aspirational. Maintaining peace when things are falling apart.
It's key to see that it's not saying the circumstances will be peaceful. It's saying the soul's influence helps you maintain an inner peace despite the circumstances.
So it's about the response, not the event itself.
Exactly. Anchoring yourself in that internal calm, that soul steadiness, rather than getting swept away by the chaos or the fear, like the eye of the storm.
Okay. June 7th connects to ethics. The adage to do no harm is an instruction from the Soul Collective to promote peace, framing a familiar principle differently.
It suggests this isn't just a human ethical rule we invented. It's reflecting a deeper, universal truth, a kind of soul-level imperative about interconnectedness and fostering peace.
Then June 8th broadens the idea of conflict. Engaging in warfare through words or actions is counterproductive to peace. So harsh words are warfare too.
In this view, yes, conflict isn't just physical. It's gossip, judgment, aggressive arguments. Anything that disrupts inner or outer peace, it all counts.
Right. Okay, now we get the contrast. June 9th and 10th give the ego's view. The ego believes wholeheartedly that warfare is sometimes necessary to protect what is rightfully yours.
Yeah.
And to keep others at bay.
See the difference? The ego operates from fear and scarcity.
Yeah, it's all about defense, boundaries, holding on to things, protecting against perceived threats.
Exactly. It sees a world where you have to fight sometimes.
Whereas June 11th is just blunt. The soul only believes in peace. Full stop.
No compromise on that. It's fundamental to its nature. Peace isn't just a good idea. It's the soul's operating system.
June 12th invites reflection. I was the voice of reason during times of madness in your current lifetime.
Yeah, to recall those moments where maybe, despite the craziness around you, some calmer, wiser part of you spoke up or guided you. Can you think of a time like that?
Yeah, probably. Maybe in a heated argument, feeling that urge to lash out, something holds you back suggests a different way.
Exactly that. That's the soul's influence, nudging towards reason and peace, even when the ego is screaming for battle.
Then June 13th is quite interesting. Some characters regret listening to their souls because they didn't get a feeling of satisfaction from following their instinct to strike back. It acknowledges the ego's payoff.
Yeah, the ego gets a certain satisfaction from retaliation, right? A feeling of power, maybe. Vindication. Choosing the soul's path of peace might not give you that immediate ego-boosting hit. It's a different kind of satisfaction, or maybe something beyond satisfaction.
And June 14th touches on childhood. Telling children to hit back reinforces their natural urges to do so. That makes you think about how we teach conflict resolution.
It really does. Does that common advice accidentally strengthen the ego's default reaction instead of guiding towards, more peaceful solutions? It's a big question.
So looking at these first couple of weeks, themes emerge, like walking away, forgiving.
Yes, those come up again and again. Soul-promoted strategies instead of direct engagement in conflict.
And this idea that the ego sees peace as weakness, that feels very familiar.
Oh, absolutely. A common misinterpretation. The ego equates strength with aggression or dominance, so it can't really grasp the inner strength required to choose peace, especially under pressure.
And this concept of defenselessness, not being about being vulnerable, but about disarming the ego.
Right. By letting go of the need to constantly defend and control, you actually tap into a different kind of safety, trusting the soul's guidance and inherent protection. It's counterintuitive for the ego.
And the soul is always there, this constant guide.
That's a core message. It's not something you achieve. It's something you tune into. It's always present.
And crucially, you can feel peace even when life is objectively hard. like with money troubles or lack of resources.
Yes, it reinforces peace as an internal state, independent of external conditions. The soul provides perspective that transcends those immediate worries.
So ultimately, peace is the soul's gift, and it's up to us whether we accept it.
Exactly. We have the choice. We can choose to align with that inherent peace, to receive and utilize that gift in our lives. It's empowering.
And the end point seems to be realizing that you are peace, not just seeking it, but embodying it.
That's the destination, you could say, recognizing peace as your fundamental essence.
There's also that interconnectedness piece. You are me.
Yeah, breaking down that illusion of separation the ego creates. Seeing the underlying unity fosters empathy, makes harming another feel impossible.
Which ties into the soul just rejecting, arguing, fighting. Peace is my middle name. It's emphatic.
Leaves no room for doubt, does it? Peace is the core identity.
And I find it fascinating that love and peace can seem radical to the ego.
Because the ego lives in a world of perceived threat and competition. From that viewpoint, unconditional love and unwavering peace do look radical, maybe even naive. But the soul knows they're the true powers.
And that final June affirmation we have here, I cannot do anything to harm a vessel that contains another part of myself, God, that really elevates the sense of connection.
It points to that ultimate unity. If we're all expressions of the same source, harming another is, in essence, harming oneself. It makes conflict unthinkable at the deepest level.
So this gift of peace,
Yeah.
it's far more than just stopping fights. It's a whole reorientation.
Exactly. A shift away from an ego-based life, which is inherently prone to conflict, towards a soul-aligned life where peace is the natural state, the foundation.
It definitely makes you want to sit with those June affirmations, consider how that perspective might change things day to day.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. If your soul, your deepest self, truly believes only in peace and sees conflict as essentially an illusion of the ego, how might consciously choosing to live from that soul perspective fundamentally change your experience of being human?
Definitely something to reflect on. Thanks for diving deep with us today.